But first on Prime Time.
Hey, Stella!
A Charlotte streetcar no longer just a desire of our city leaders. The tracks are laid. Now the feds come through with big money to get the first cars rolling. Good Thursday evening. I'm Maureen O'Boyle. Always great to have you with us for Prime Time. We are always live at 7 o'clock. Streetcars in Charlotte are now a sure thing. The project, once in doubt, now the federal government is helping fund the first leg, a $25 million grant to complete the first mile-and-a-half stretch. The tracks already run up and down most of Elizabeth Avenue. Soon the streetcars will too, back and forth between the Transit Center near the Time Warner Cable Arena, southeast to Presbyterian Hospital. Primetime's Jeff Atkinson joins me now. And Jeff, this is certainly exciting news, but a mile and a half isn't exactly a great transportation option for most of us.
But it is a major step forward, city leaders say, Maureen, and a transit system they want to expand on, and a catalyst they hope for economic development. Charlotte beat out 59 other cities for the federal cash awarded today, and it returns the city to its roots. It's our cover story tonight. That's the sound of revitalization. It's what city leaders point to when they say it's what they hope the streetcar will do. The building's getting a major makeover, gutted, turned into a beauty school and salon. And where is it? On Elizabeth Avenue, where tracks have been laid for Charlotte's new streetcar.
I'm happy to announce today,
at a news conference at the Government Center today, city leaders celebrating receiving a $25 million grant from the feds to get the project on track.
This grant will allow our city to take the first steps in bringing the streetcar back.
And it almost didn't happen. Katz relinquished responsibility of the project to the city, and it survived a mayor's veto and a host of skeptics. Charlotte began as a streetcar community. 1891, a car ran from Trade and Tryon out to the city's first suburbs, Dilworth. Now, 120 years later, it's coming back around.
You know, we have to continue to develop alternative forms of transportation if we're going to improve air quality, reduce congestion, and keep this a great place to live and work.
The streetcar, part of an overall plan to bring mass transit throughout Charlotte-Mecklenburg. The line itself eventually expected to run from Rosa Parks Place on Beatties Ford Road in West Charlotte, through Center City, east out to Eastland Mall, a total of 10 miles. It's money for the first mile and a half through downtown received today that'll be added to $12 million in local dollars the city's already set aside.
There are no moves that we're going to make as a community in the next 50 years that are going to be more transformative than our investments in transit.
Anticipating federal money coming in, the city's already laid a half-mile of track in the street where the cars will run along Elizabeth Avenue through the CPCC campus. Constructing the rest, a 1-mile section set to begin in about a year and a half. To save money, the city plans to bring out of retirement the 3 trolley cars that ran where the Lynx Blue line goes now. Workers believe the project will bring jobs and investment.
I'm glad Charlotte received the money because economically wise, it will help the economy. So I'm glad they're bringing the trolley to Charlotte downtown.
But critics balk at the price. They point out the streetcar will run where buses run now, and to build out the 10 miles is going to cost as much as $500,000. So the city's hoping it'll be mostly federal dollars.
So what is the attraction? Why build then?
Supporters would tell you there's a couple of things. It's our affinity with trains. You'll get people on a train who would never get on a bus. Streetcars run on electricity. They'll reduce our carbon footprint. And, of course, economic development. They think they can get businesses to locate in the quarter of the street line, the streetcar line. A lot of redevelopment there.
So when will that first leg be completed?
Early 2014.
Okay, Jeff, thanks. It is going to take a long time to clean up this mess in Waxhaw. Look at this. A train jumped the tracks late this afternoon, spilled its load. The train wasn't hauling anything dangerous, though just what appears to be some grain there. The accident did cause some traffic problems along Highway 75. If you've ever had your car towed, you know it is one of the most helpless feelings in the world. The only thing more maddening is getting it back from the towing company. It feels like such a ripoff, and sometimes it actually is. Now, though, North Carolina is about to have a new towing policy in place, protection from predatory tow truckers. Jamie Bowl is on your side with a look at these new rules. Jamie, fill us in.
Maureen, over the past year and a half, Problem Solver Investigations have told you a lot about some pretty shady situations involving towing companies. Predators really trolling the lots, hauling cars away, and making money hand over fist. Now lawmakers have closed some of the loopholes. The legislature just passed a Bill of Rights for anyone who's getting towed. It'll make it easier to find your car after it's been hauled away and easier to get it back. And no more shady business. If you pull into a private towaway lot, you'll know it. The bill requires a big private parking sign at the entrance to the lot. The name and phone number of the towing company must be posted. If the parking spaces are owned or leased by different people or businesses, like at the Starbucks on East Boulevard, each space must be labeled accordingly. And there will be a limit on how far your car can be towed, and no immunity for tow truckers. They can't force you to waive any rights when you get your car back, meaning if they mess up your vehicle, they damage it, whatever, you can definitely hold them accountable no matter what they make you sign. Local governments, though, set the limits for fines. Keep that in mind. Charlotte's towing ordinance caps fees at $120. Senator Bob Ruccio from Matthews came up with the bill, and Governor Perdue is expected to make it law. Maureen, back to you.
All right, Jamie, about time. We've got some breaking news now out of Burke County. This long-time probation officer just arrested on drug trafficking charges. James David Franklin has been a parole officer in Caldwell County for 9 years. Undercover officers say he sold them more than 120 hydrocodone tablets. He is charged with felonious trafficking of opiates. If you spent any time outside, you know it was a hot one today. We didn't break any records, but we tied them, and that's not good news, Eric Thomas. It is yucky out there.
Yeah, that record was established in 1977, Maureen. Actually, it was established, if you really want to get technical about it, way back in 1881. We tied it again in 1977. We'll talk more about that in just a minute. But a couple of showers and thunder showers still rotating through our eastern counties, and yes, still flaring up even at this hour. And in fact, there you see around Anson County, we've had a pretty stout little thunderstorm roll its way through the Wadesboro area right now. A couple of lightning strikes still showing up. Again, here's Highway 74, so you see areas along Marshville, Wingate as you get back to the west. But around Sunland Drive right now, a core of very heavy rain and some lightning strikes moving into the Magnolia Grove Road area. Here you see Gray Barn Lane, some heavier rain for you as well. This is going to continue to roll down toward the South Carolina border, so I want to bring you up to speed and alert you to that. Otherwise, there's that 100-degree temperature, the average high 90, and as said, it happened in 1977, and way back, Maureen, when people didn't think it was very hot, in 1881, it was hot. That's the way it is right now. The rest of your first alert forecast coming up shortly.
This next one is troubling. A 12-year-old kid accused of robbing and stabbing a store clerk in East Charlotte. Police say the boy walked into the Boost Mobile store and asked to look at cell phones. When the clerk took them out, investigators say the kid stuck the blade in her neck and grabbed the phones. A passerby chased the boy to a nearby apartment complex where police put that 12-year-old in cuffs. He is charged with armed robbery and assault with a deadly weapon tonight. The victim is expected to recover. Police arrest the guys who they say shot a Charlotte cabbie. We talked about this last night. Josiah Knox and Romaine and Sammy Davis, they are in custody tonight for the crime. Witnesses say they robbed and shot William Strickland yesterday after they got a ride from him. Strickland was shot in the head. He is in critical condition right now. It's been 6 months since an earthquake devastated Haiti, changing the lives of millions forever. And that change was for the better for two little boys from Port-au-Prince, Judah and Elijah, adopted by a couple in Catawba County. Our Steve Onesorge on your side with the story of the new kids in town.
Their eyes have seen more than any kid their age should. Living through the earthquake is something they can't forget.
As a lot of people died.
But those memories are fading thanks to their new big family. 4-year-old Elijah and 6-year-old Judah are now part of the Peterson clan.
What a family.
With the newcomers, there's 8 kids in all, every one of them adopted. Chris and Melissa are the proud parents.
You know, we count them as blessings every day.
Savannah is the oldest and says it's all good.
I'm just part of the family, like they've always been here.
When the two boys from Haiti came in February, they couldn't speak English. They'd been in an orphanage for years. Tack on the sights of all this that they had to live through, there were concerns on how they would do in their new home. So much for those concerns. The two have adjusted better than anyone could have expected. They've gone from being orphans to just being regular kids. The two brothers have learned English
I have a lot of money.
and learned to ride bikes. Pretty well, in fact. They also love the food, and while it does get a little noisy around the dinner table with 8 kids about, Chris and Melissa wouldn't have it any other way. But we did have to ask. Is 8 enough?
Maybe not. We'll see. We've got 15 seats in the
van, and we're filling up 10, so there's 5 more.
But for now, at least, there's plenty already to celebrate in this family.
I love you, Elijah.
2 little boys from so far away who had no home, but do now. In Catawba County, Steve Onisworch, WBTV, on your side.